Hello, everyone. The High Vibe Tribe.
Flowing to you on from the frequency of Friday.
It is High Frequency Friday. Woohoo! We're just like getting in. Oh, yeah, we have our first watcher.
Ooh.
Our first viewer.
Awesome.
Do you know music is a frequency?
Yes.
Did you know that frequencies can change your frequency?
Yes.
Did you know there's a difference between rock and hard rock? And it has to do with all of your cells in your entire body. If you are joining us now, holy cow, thank you so much. We're so happy to see you. We're so happy and glad you're here with us. We're going to take a quick minute and we're going to go to Facebook, and we'd love for all of you to please share this on your page and share this live stream in your group, if you've got a group. And feel free to tag your friends and tell them today is the day and now is the time. Jason, now I'm going to say it. Is it Teichner?
Teichner.
Teichner.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
You did.
Second time around. With us here today, Jason is a medical intuitive, and we have got some knockdown, drag out, bang up, shake the sifter pan information for all of you. Jason has been able to shift and uplift people out of disease, dis-ease, and disease, and created a different reality for so many people, myself included. So, Jason, we are so glad you're here. Thank you.
Good to be here.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome.
So happy. So I'm pulling my Facebook up, and it is like, a little bit slower here in Orlando, Florida. For some particular reason, not sure why. It's just doing the spin. We're spinning a lot here.
Yeah.
Maybe we're spinning our wheels.
Just loading.
Yeah, it's still loading in the background. So cool. If you're joining us here, let us know where you are joining us from. Pop it in to the comments. Please allow StreamYard to have permission to share your name and your profile picture so we know who you are when you are speaking with us and commenting. And Jason will have a name to kind of work with as well as a picture. So we're so glad you're all here with us today. Thank you for sharing it, and thank you for giving StreamYard permission. Yeah. So can you believe it? You guys, we just finished off the masking workshop on Saturday, right? The truth behind the mask. So what did you all think, Jason, before I interview you? This is like old business.
Sure. No problem.
I think you knew about it. I think you may have been tagged for the truth behind the mask, the workshop we had on Saturday. Yeah. So if you were on with us and you're in the live chat, let us know what's happening. And Priscilla, what are your thoughts? You were one of our speakers.
It flowed so beautifully, and our other guest speakers, Suki, Owen, and Fraser, all flowed with their information so fantastically and gave us so much vital information about how to, unveil the masks that we wear. And I just felt like it really had an impact, definitely had an impact on everybody that took part in it.
Beautiful. Yeah, there was a lot of positive response.
Yes.
Dushanka is in the house.
Hi, Dushanka.
Hi, honey. She is in the US of A.
Ooh.
Her new home. Who else is out about with Maria?
Yay.
Maria. Hi, Hi, sweetheart. We are so glad you're here, and you are going to be excited to meet Jason. And I love when our guests chat with each other.
Yeah.
You know, like, Jason, I know I've mentioned this before. It's like, you know, we all start out as like clients and colleagues. I go, and the next thing you know, we're like family.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, healing has to keep happening for the rest of your life. So, you know, it's not just a one and done kind of thing. It's, you got to keep that collaboration going. You got to keep that support going. So it's not just, hey, I'm going to help you heal and see ya, you know.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
So Tati is here with us too.
Yeah.
From Orlando. Hello, Tatia. Woo-hoo.
Hi, Katya.
Nice meeting you too, Maria.
So glad you're here. Can we see who you are? Yes. Are you trying to hide out? Do a little invisible? Are you going covert?
Oh.
Hi, Maria. It's so good to see you. You are also a magical person. We have to probably bring you on. The things you create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. And she'd like to say hi to you, Jason. Oh, wait, that was not the right one. Nope.
Yes.
There it is.
Yep. Nice meeting you, Maria. I said that. Yeah. But yeah, it's good because we all need healing in all different ways. And so I do what I do. Everybody else here on the panel does what they do. And it's all different, but it's all collaborative. So, you know, we like to share clients with other practitioners that do different things than what we do. Because we all need a holistic healing approach. It's not just about one modality. So we need the spiritual, we need the physical, we need the mental, the emotional, we need all of it. And so yeah, I don't do everything. So I do a lot, but I don't do everything.
I'm sure.
I don't know.
I'm not God. So.
You said spiritual, and so Priscilla, yes, Priscilla has our spiritual backs. She's a psychic medium and healer. Priscilla is from South Africa. Priscilla, give everybody a quick wave.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, lovely. Glad you're here. Janie Lynn, hailing from Arizona in the United States, our Galactic Code decoder and director.
Hello, everyone.
Glad you're here. Janie will be infusing the galactic codes into this broadcast for all of you that are here and everyone who will watch it in the future, as well as this shifts and uplifts our DNA. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
We can all use a little of that, right?
Especially today.
Bring it.
I'm pretty sure I've been facilitating the globe all day long.
I believe it. I believe
it. Suki, since she's saying hi to me. So good evening, Jason.
Hi, Suki.
Yeah, let's hop over to the comments. Hey, beautiful. Hello, lovely. We were just talking about you. Suki was one of our guest speakers in The Truth Behind the Mask as well on Saturday. Nice. And Suki's from England. So glad you're here. Yeah, she was just saying, hey.
Yeah. And good afternoon from Nevada.
You're right next door to me. Sort of.
Oh, sort of? You're
Sort of.
Colorado or something? Where are you?
Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Yeah, that's next door. What city?
I'm in Goodyear.
Oh, okay. So you're southern, where it's hot.
Yes.
Thank you, Suki.
I guess it's probably starting to cool down a little bit now.
Yeah, we're gonna have rain.
Oh, okay. Well, it's better than 115. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I've been considering moving to central Arizona, up in the mountains, like Prescott area.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And you'll have a neighbor right there who can, give you a galactic code upgrade,
Yes. Look forward to
anytime.
Yeah. Look forward to in space.
Yeah,
Like
you're
this far
flying.
instead of Mm-hmm.
Like that might be able to, I just got a download. Like that could be one of your add-ons to your program, Jason, is to have the thing with the stuff that she does.
Okay, that explains it. Nice.
So,
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
just let
very
you go.
clear on that now. Thanks. Yeah, it's great.
Yes, it's important that we all know exactly what we're talking about
It is.
Yes.
all the time. Otherwise, if it's not really important, then forget it.
Forget about it.
Probably won't be significant either. Suki says that she's coming over to top off her fan in the heat.
Well, she needs to come to South Africa. It's 30 degrees at the moment, so Celsius. So we'd be sitting in the sunshine every day. So she needs to come over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Ashley, hailing from Florida, United States.
Yes. Yes.
Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you. Yes, still in Florida. 109 degrees. Would you say? It's hot. It's hot. Beautiful. Like right now, 5 o'clock. It's nice and cool. You want to be outside and watch the sun, watch the birds, watch the cloud. Amazing colors of the sky right now, these days. And we're moving into cooler days. So guess what? I'm going to spend more time outside soon.
As long as those amazing colors aren't chemtrails, then that's okay.
Oh.
That was
Better to think.
that's when you breathe deep.
And let go.
There you go. There you go.
Let it go. Let it go, Janie.
The truth never bothered us anyways.
Oh, holy cow. Ashley is our energetic expert and breathing specialist. In fact, she is going to go into hibernation next week. But before she does that, let's all wish her a very happy birthday. Woo! Woo! Happy
Celebrating
birthday.
another birthday on this planet.
Yay!
Yes,
You
11/11.
11/11.
11/11.
Yes.
Suki says she's going to South Africa.
Yes. I'm waiting for her.
And Suki, it's incredible when we all come together. Like you can just feel like our energies like infused into like that. And it's beautiful.
Well, the sun melted us all together.
It is. Like, there's no
Thank you,
separation.
Janie.
Yeah, I can feel it, Janie, already.
Yeah.
We're going to need an ice bath pretty soon.
It was happening before we started the live. It was like, oh, okay, shoot. Okay, it's happening. Thanks, Janie.
Jason, you might get hot flashes.
Wouldn't be the first time. It's cool today, finally, in Reno. It's in the 50s, but I think in the house right now, the heater's on and I'm burning up, so. Well, maybe it's me, I don't know.
And you're drinking coffee.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of cool now, and it's organic coffee, so y'all know.
Oh,
So
is my water.
yeah, my water's organic also, and it's got a built-in filter, so you get out all that chlorine and all that other stuff.
Fluoride.
But it's actually cooled off now, the coffee, so it's not. I don't think that's making me hot anymore. But
I put magic drops
In your water.
in my water. It's
is that
refreshing.
flower essence? What is that?
It's holy basil. It's an
Okay.
extract of holy basil with some other herbs, but it boosts it boosts your lung capacity. It boosts like all of the yucky stuff that remains,
Yeah.
and it's just magical. So since I've been drinking it, like you know how your palate gets, sometimes your palate has like a film on it,
Yeah.
especially when you have like eaten all kinds of like stuff.
Yeah.
With
Donut?
this, it's like so clean. My palate is clean. I'm like, I want more. I want more. Like I can. It's so amazing. Susan, you should be having this.
I do.
Holy basil.
I don't dilute it. I squirt it straight up.
Oh, you do? No, I do that with the other stuff.
Well, yeah, I don't know what else is in it, but holy basil is great for adrenal glands, stress. Yeah, helps with adrenal healing. Mhm.
I'm a down and dirty. I'm a down and dirty kind of girl. Like, let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's do this.
I don't know if you're talking about herbs or something else, but okay.
You know, I'm gonna say like
Susan.
all of the above.
Yeah.
You opened the door on that one, Jason.
I just acted ignorant on that, but I knew it.
Are you sure you want to go there?
Jason. I am the Earth Empress, and I hail worldwide as a global consciousness revolutionary. And wow, are the United States not playing the game full out with our elections? Holy cow, what a sense of everything here. The sense of highs and lows, ups and downs, rights and wrongs, total polarity is just swarming. All of the politics, all of the candidates, all of the parties, all of us people. There's a lot of P's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what do we do? We're here to navigate and support you through all of that. We are here to gift you a different possibility. And Jason, we're so glad that you're here with us today to help us with that. So before we get to your introduction and tell everybody all about you, we have a few new tribe members that we would like to invite in and do a special welcome for them. So Priscilla.
Okay, I better take my glasses off for this. Okay, so big, amazing hand applause and welcome to Carrie Bremner, Steve Brandon, Katie Schofield, Tony Taylor, Jackie Healing Frequency, Danielle Teti, Sherry Paha, Nia Wilson, and Arisi Rayo. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the tribe.
Welcome so much. We are so glad you're here. So glad that you joined us, that you're here for the party. We are here live at 5 on Fridays. Very excited to incorporate all of you into everything that we are co-creating together. So pretty awesome. I'm excited to introduce to you Jason Teichner. Jason and I met, I think maybe a month or two ago. Jason, would you say?
It's been a couple months, I think.
Yeah, and we connected on LinkedIn at first. Yeah, and we were messaging back and forth about all different kind of things, and it sort of brought me into like, you know, hey, what do you do, and what do you do, and what is that like? So let me tell you a little bit about Jason. Jason is a holistic health and healer. His mission is to help as many people as possible heal naturally from whatever ails them, both individually and on a massive scale at once, through lectures, workshops, TV, radio, books, and of course the live stream now. He has published a book called Get Thin for Life, which is available on Amazon. I integrate, what he says, this is how he does it, I should say. He integrates as many as a few healing modalities as needed to cater to and treat each client as an individual. He uses a combination of knowledge, skills, talents, experience, and intuition to help people heal themselves, or just about any ailment, or simply help them to be the healthiest they can possibly be. He's been doing this for over 17 years. the beautiful part about Jason is he has a customized program that he does with physical and emotional healing, and he combines them together, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that. So everybody, please help me welcome Jason Teichner.
Welcome.
Hi, Jason.
Thank you.
So glad you're here. So tell us, take us back, because not everybody wakes up in the morning and goes, you know what, I'm going to be an intuitive healer today. So what was it for you?
So it kind of started growing up where my father's always been into nutrition, and I would start asking him about the foods he was eating, the supplements he was taking, and then throughout high school I would have my friends asking me stuff about nutrition, and then I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I know a bit. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it. And then I kind of went into another career right out of high school. I worked with children. I was an after-school child care counselor and did that for a while. And then, and then I was kind of trucking along, trying to get into some different businesses that had nothing to do with health. And then all of a sudden, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma at the end of the year 2000. So,
everything stops. Am I right? Like,
yeah.
When you get that letter, phone call, conversation, like life as you know it has to drastically change.
It did. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to do. And at the time, I didn't know enough about natural healing to heal myself naturally. And I was upset that I didn't, but I didn't. And so I went through the traditional treatment in 2001. I went through the chemotherapy and the radiation. And then, it put me in remission, which was great. But then soon after that, I started noticing a bunch of mental stuff going on. I was noticing that I would literally keep myself up at night. I was afraid to fall asleep. I couldn't leave the house for about 6 months. So, and this was every night. I would purposely keep myself up because I didn't want to go to sleep. And so eventually that started to get a little bit better. I started seeing a hypnotherapist, which I'm now a hypnotherapist, one thing I do, but started seeing a hypnotherapist. I noticed that was helping.
So if our audience, Jason, resonates with what you're saying, then definitely pop in the comments and let us know. So I can totally relate to that. Like I would cry because it was time for me to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was so much anxiety as it got closer and closer to bedtime. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I went through. What I went through.
And our audience, also has different levels of this, but they'll resonate with what you're saying. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And so, yeah, so it was horrible. And then finally, I was able to kind of manage that and, start leaving the house again for short periods of time, that kind of thing. The sleeping thing was getting a little bit better. And then I started to notice a bunch of physical symptoms. So I'm like, what's going on here? I was tired all the time for no reason. Mm-hmm. I was nauseous all the time. I was dizzy. I was lightheaded. I was getting really sick just with 2 bites of food. I would eat 2 bites of food and I would get so sick and it would make me tired. I thought I was going to pass out. And so I'm like, and so this started around, a couple of years later, started around like 2000. No, actually about a year, about 2001. So end of 2001. So less than a year later, I'd say.
That's 19 years ago.
What's that?
That's 19 years ago.
Yeah. And so I'm like, what's going on here? And I would talk to different doctors, and the doctors were like, oh, I don't know. It's, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. We all heard that, right? It's all in your head. There's nothing wrong with you. The blood work's normal. It's all in your head. So, and for those
he's reading my story.
Show them the finger. Show them the finger.
Our minds are connected. No, so yeah, and so and I knew it wasn't all in my head, but for those of you out there that don't know, only about half the stuff that you could have wrong with you health-wise is going to show up in the blood work. And doctors don't test for other things that they should test for. They don't believe in a lot of these other tests that like naturopathic doctors do. So, you know, finally I ran into a doctor, an oncologist that said, well, your cells are probably still toxic from the treatment, and they're just taking a while to repair. And so that's what's causing this. And I said, okay, well, what do I do about it? And how long does this last? So he says, well, you know, sometimes it lasts several years, you know, and sometimes your cells never fully repair. And of course I didn't accept that answer. You know, no way I would accept that answer.
Yeah, big M, never.
Way too slow.
Yeah. So then I went on a quest to figure out what repairs the DNA of the cells, what detoxifies the cells, all these things so that I can heal. So I went on this big quest and finally figured out the combination that would later work. And so started doing that, started eating differently, obviously, started taking those particular supplements and that kind of stuff. Then I decided, you know what, I want to do this as a career. So as a business. So became certified in holistic health, nutrition, and hypnotherapy. So I went to school for all those things.
If I can just pop in for a minute, did you notice a shift in your own health physically and mentally once you started on the different combinations of supplements?
Yeah, my body was and still is very sensitive to what I do, to what I eat, to what I take, all that kind of stuff. So I knew fairly quickly what stuff was working, what stuff wasn't, and I adjusted several times till I finally figured out the right combination. And once I did, then I knew it was the right combination. And then, of course, I started feeling better.
It's sort of like a cocktail. Like two parts this, one part that, like a cocktail.
Yeah, it was like
shaken, not stirred.
With all the smoke. I'm gonna mix this with this. Yeah. So it's like Halloween every day. But yeah, so I would do all these different things. And yeah, I felt like a chemist or whatever, and my shield and my glasses and no, I didn't have that. But
remember the Bunsen burner we used to have in science class?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jason, I have a pair of goggles for you, Jason. You can borrow mine.
Awesome.
Okay.
You're giving.
Keep you safe.
Of course, you would give those to me now that it's about to be 2021, but that's okay.
I have a different one. You're welcome to have this one.
I'll let you keep that. But hopefully you don't put donuts on there. That's not healthy. But
it's one of that's one of my 4 food groups, Jason.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah,
I'm admitting this. So
that's pretty starry. Yeah, that's nice.
We can lend you. I can lend you one of these, like any of these. And Janie makes these. Janie Lynn.
Cool.
Yeah.
And also for the face mask too. But I don't wear face masks. And she do it would be wasted.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So what would be really odd is if all of us are like kind of alone in the rooms, right, that we're in right now doing this, and if one of us thought we should wear a face mask while we're alone, like some people do. Ridiculous.
Why does that happen?
By themselves, they have a face mask on. I mean, they're outside running. They have a face mask on.
Yes. That's Orlando.
So insane. So insane.
In fact, we should have had a camera. Nick and I were driving. Maybe you guys have seen this too. They have the face shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The shield and the whole, it's
like something here and then, yeah.
Then they have the mask on underneath it, right? With the shield visor. And then they had rubber gloves on their hands on the steering wheel while they're driving.
Why don't they just have a hazmat suit on? I mean,
and they're driving alone in the car, or they're like the car is filled with people.
Ridiculous. I know.
Okay.
Yeah, ridiculous. So, where was I? So, yeah. Here.
Squirrel. You're doing great, Jason. You're doing
Yeah,
great.
I caught 20 squirrels. But anyways, maybe not more than 14. But so then I I figured out what was going on with me and then I'm thinking, you know what? I need to figure out the cause of illness. I need to help as many people as possible. And I would do that by figuring out the cause, because so many people, practitioners, we know regular doctors, but even health practitioners will not go after the cause. They'll go after the symptoms, or because they don't know the cause, right? So, so then I was on a quest. Well, you know what? No matter what a person has, no matter what's going on with their health, as long as I know the cause, I can help them heal, right? So that's what I set out to do. And so once I figured that out, which people are amazed when they find out it's so simple. There's very few causes of illness, of all illness. And it's not like this causes this causes, no, there's very few underlying causes of illness. So once you understand that and you know what to do to handle the cause, then everything else goes away as a positive side benefit, basically, from healing your body. It's not about the diagnosis. It's not about the symptoms. It's about the cause. And so, and we have as we all know, we have not just a physical cause, which I work a lot with. We have an emotional cause, mental cause, which I work with the hypnosis. We have a spiritual cause, right? So it's all in there. And in order to heal, you've got to address everything. In order to heal permanently, you've got to address everything. You can heal temporarily, and then it'll come back if you don't address the whole picture.
Would you say that those are triggers?
What's that?
Would you say that those are triggers? So
Which are triggers?
Emotional, mental, spiritual, like those?
Yeah.
Energetically, when I look at like people body scanning and looking with, there's like a block there. Almost like it's where they're living their life and then bam, the situation happens. Whether it's a car accident, a relationship, a foreclosure on a house, like something traumatic, emotionally happens. And then it gets
it goes from emotional to physical. Right. It's not the other way around. Yeah, it starts in the emotional space. Well, it starts in the spiritual space, goes to the emotional space, goes to the mental space, and then goes to the physical. So yeah, it's not the other way around.
Can you say that one more time? And I'm going to have Janie or Ashley put it in the comments for everyone. It starts.
Yeah.
Janie.
So basically, you have
spiritual.
You have the spiritual, right? And then the spiritual, whether you realize it or not, you have something that you're not connected with on a spiritual level. You have some disconnect on a spiritual level, right? So even people that don't realize it, because we don't talk about that part much, right? But you ask somebody, well, what's your spiritual belief? Well, I believe this. Okay, great. So would you take that to the bank? Would you know that? Well, no, I kind of believe it, but I don't really know it. So that is the underlying cause of a lot of things that come up later, is not being connected on the spiritual level, not believing enough in whatever it is the person believes in, right? Because we don't have, and it's not our fault, because we don't always have the proof. Maybe Priscilla does.
But I was just going to say, I'm like, Priscilla, what are your thoughts on this also with disease and
proof?
Definitely. In terms of a lot of medical conditions, they can be brought on by a spiritual thing or a thought or a thought pattern. A lot of people, talk about stress, and stress is a total mental thing where your whole body can fall apart. You can, lie flat on the bed and not be able to get out. You could be nauseous. You could, you know, have an itchy skin. You could have, you know, blurred vision, and it's all stress related because it's a psychosomatic.
Yeah, and I think it's about stress comes from not having enough faith, enough spiritual faith. Because I think that when we have enough spiritual faith, there's no reason to be stressed. Yeah. Because what's the worst that can happen? We die. Oh, so what? It's a better place. You know what I mean? So I don't. So that's what I think. And Priscilla can probably speak to that a little better than I can. But that's kind of what I found for myself. And that's what I found for a lot of other people. And when you really ask people, they're like, oh, yeah, I never realized that, you know. And then it goes from there to the emotional. And then the emotional, whether it's just one traumatic event, like Susan, like you were talking about, or whether it's a series of events, then that emotion gets into your physical, into your mental. Your brain doesn't think properly, and then it gets into your physical body. And then it manifests with physical illness. Because what else is it going to manifest that? What else can be measured, right? Physical is what can be measured. So through different tests and all that kind of stuff.
Can we do an all call to our audience, Jason?
What's that?
Can we do an all call to our audience? Like, who is watching right now, who's listening, who has had like an emotional, conscious, spiritual situation? I remember doing this whole relationship thing, and it was soul wrenching. Like, that's the experience. That's how I described it, was soul wrenching with me. And I know, Ashni, you had a very pivotal one that came up in your lifetime.
Yes.
And Jason, do you know how much time goes by?
How much time?
Yeah, from when we have that experience to when the symptoms show up, like in the physicalness. Is there a timeline?
I hear it's 1 year to 2 years. That's what I've heard the most. It's can be anywhere from 1 year to 2 years later that some type of physical manifestation of illness will happen. So, you know, I've met a lot of other types of healers that will say to me, well, what was going on 1 year to 2 years before you got sick? What was going on? And I would tell them, and they'd go, oh, see, that makes it connected. So, so yeah, we want to watch out for that when we have a traumatic event. We want to make sure that we help ourselves through it, and you know, seek the right type of help at that time, so that it doesn't later manifest into physical illness a couple years, you know, 1 year to 2 years later. So that's very important.
Jason, we're not taught how to handle that. We're not taught.
No.
Like, that's, it's just, we're just not. You know, it's like, okay, you'll get over it. Oh, time heals everything. And it's like, sweep it under the carpet. It's like, just give her time. Just give him time. Time will, you know, she'll figure it out. It's a learning lesson. I love that one. Oh, they learned from it.
Yeah. Right. Well, we do learn everything, but it doesn't mean that it heals us, right? So as far as the emotional side of responding to something like that, that's what I use hypnosis for on people. And then as far as the physical, when they've got physical stuff going on, that's where I use the nutritional, the holistic health, the supplements, the right foods, the right type of exercise, getting enough sun, the right type of water, detox methods, all of those things. So I meet the person where they're at, of course. You know, I meet the client wherever they're at and start from there. And then because of the intuition, I kind of know where to start, you know, basically. And then I've heard everything before. Like at this point, no matter what a person has going on with their health, I've heard it before. So there's nothing that's going to shock me. There's nothing that's going to surprise me. And I see, and that may sound weird, but I also, that's true because I see a lot of commonalities. You know, I see a lot of commonality. So the same stuff keeps popping up over and over again, right? And so yeah, so that's basically what I do. So in my journey now, I can, I now know the cause of illness, right? So now someone can say, hey, here's what's going on. And I can immediately say, okay, well, this is what's causing it. And, you know, they'll say, well, I don't know. I'll say, no, this is how it's connected. This is how it's connected to what you've got going on. This is what happened. This is how it manifested. This is what's going on. So here's what we need to do to heal and heal the cause. So that's what I help people do.
I sort of feel like you're connecting the dots, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right?
Yes.
Like a chain reaction. Like they're all connected.
Definitely, and it's very quick, and that's why I've now have this ability to know that I can right away, I can say, here's what's going on, no matter what they have, no matter if they have a diagnosis, if they don't have a diagnosis, I can go by what they're telling me their symptoms are, and I can say, okay, well, this is why you're having these symptoms. This is what's causing it. And if they want, I can give them a diagnosis if they want. Because in all of this, what I've done, I've purposely studied conventional medicine as well, just to know the whole thing from that side. Because a lot of these clients have been to doctors and they've been diagnosed with things and they're on certain medication. And I need to know what those are, what those conditions are, what those medications are. So I've studied that. I've studied the conventional side. I've studied the psychology, the psychiatry, pharmacology. I mean, I've made it a point to, immerse myself with all of the knowledge from all the different angles. So if they say, I went to this type of doctor, I'll say, okay, great, or I'll be able to tell them what they need to do in addition to what I'm helping them with. So what type of practitioner they need to go in addition to what I'm doing. And a lot of times it's spiritual. I mean, the hypnosis will help the emotional, right? But sometimes the spiritual, they need just as much healing from that. And although I know a bit about that, that's not my specific area of expertise. So then I'd send them to somebody else on this panel, right? So, yeah, there you go.
We're happy to partner with you.
Yeah.
Jason, I'm not familiar with all of the alphabet letters you have after your name. Would this be an okay time to sort of share what that is? Because that speaks volumes to your credibility.
Yeah, sure. So CHHP is Certified Holistic Health Practitioner. CN is Certified Nutritionist. CHT is Certified Hypnotherapist. So, and then as you know, we can get into, the alphabet letters are kind of like symptoms, right? We can get into those, but it doesn't describe the whole picture of what somebody does, right? So yeah. I like to say,
I just want to say this, Jason. So, here in Florida, they like you to see your primary care like every 6 months or 3 months or not, whatever it is. So I had one, right? And after you and I spoke, and I had the whole list and the whole, this is this and this is how many times. She wrote down every single thing that I had. She goes, and what's the name of this person? And I gave her your name. Don't you know you're in the system? You're in the medical system. Your name came up as being like a naturopath, holistic, doctor, and all of your little letters.
So I'm in. Oh, sorry, Susan, you're cutting out there.
He's frozen in time.
Yeah.
Did you miss the whole thing? You guys, did you miss it all? I don't know.
So you said I'm in the system?
Yeah, like your name popped up with all your letters after it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Good.
I know.
Well, right? He's certified. So if he's certified, he's on some kind of board.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes. And there was no questions. It was not I'm not sure, we shouldn't. It was like, okay, good. This is what he's addressing. This is what he's working with. Awesome. Keep us posted.
Yeah.
I have a question for Jason.
Sure.
In terms of when you are looking at prevalent diseases, globally and within the states, which conditions do you find come up on a more regular basis? So which ones are like the top 2 or top 5?
Digestion is number 1. Yeah, digestive issues are number 1. And if the person who is seeing me after a few years of being diagnosed with a digestive issue, they also have an autoimmune issue. So, because the digestive issue caused the autoimmune issue. So, what I see over and over again is, and it's because of what people eat here, it's because of the diet, it's because of specifically genetically modified foods, GMOs, genetically modified organisms. Okay, so that's the common theme. So the body doesn't know what to do.
And the chemtrails.
Well, yes, the chemtrails is environmental toxins. So I've talked about, like, there's food toxins, there's environmental toxins, and then there's energy toxins like electromagnetic frequencies that come from your phone, your computer, 5G, all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's toxic to some degree, right? The more toxic you are, the more you're going to get sick, and the more issues you're going to have, right? So with digestion, a lot of it is due to people eating genetically modified foods, okay? So the body doesn't know what to do with these foods. The body thinks these foods are invaders, right? They think they're a foreign substance. So let's say you eat the most harvested crop in the world, corn, right? About 90-something% of corn is GMOs, genetically modified. And then they put corn in everything. So everything, just about.
Those are organic, Susan.
Yeah. So
Organic donuts.
Yes.
Sure, the donut.
Not
So,
GMO.
It's
Gluten-free.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
they have so much of the corn in an overload, so they don't know what to do with it. So they put it in
They do.
everything.
They
Continue. Like you speak
do.
my language. I'm like, yes.
And
Tell
people
them.
eat this stuff over and over and over and over again, genetically modified foods. So what happens is the body doesn't know. It says, what the body says, what's this? This isn't a food. This is an invader. So I'm going to start to attack it. So then the builds up antibodies, and these antibodies attack this, what the body thinks is invaders, right? So first it's going to show up in things like IBS, colitis, Crohn's, things like that in the digestion. Then it's going to go to Crohn's is technically an autoimmune. So then it goes into autoimmune conditions, because the more antibodies you create, then the body goes into autoimmune. So it's trying to fight off all these invaders, which is just simply food that you're eating, which is genetically modified, right? And then we eat foods that we're sensitive to as well. I mean, we're all going to be sensitive to a certain degree to GMOs, right? But there's other things we could be sensitive to, like gluten and dairy and citrus and peanuts and all these other things. So, and then people, without realizing it, are eating food over and over and over again that they're sensitive to. And they've already been eating GMOs, so that's going to make them extra sensitive to these other foods that they're eating. And then it's the perfect storm to create autoimmune issues in the body. Okay? So that's what happens. And that's what I see over and over and over again in people. And depending on what stage they see me in, depends on how many different conditions they have at that time, created by the bad foods they're eating, created by the environmental toxins they're taking in, created by the electromagnetic frequencies that they're taking in. So it's all toxicity. And so toxicity then causes inflammation, right? And this inflammation then creates acidity in the body. So you've got the toxicity, and then you've got the inflammation, and then you've got the acidity in the body. So but it all starts with being toxic. And people say, I know a lot of practitioners that say, well, inflammation is the cause of all illness. Well, yes and no. There's something that happened before the inflammation, and that's cellular toxicity. So we have to get rid of the toxins in the cells. That will get rid of the inflammation, and then that will balance the pH in the body as well. A lot of people have heard that, too much acidity in the body causes all kinds of disease. Yes, that's true. But there's these steps that happen before that. unless you're just eating a bunch of acidic foods, I mean, which some people do, but usually the toxicity is what happens first, and that's the cause of all this other stuff. So that's what happens, and that's why so many people are sick and don't know why. And then it shows up in symptoms such as fatigue, brain fog, lightheadedness, dizziness, the feeling like you're going to pass out for no reason. And, you can't think straight. You start losing your short-term memory because it's all connected. All the body systems are connected. The digestive system is connected to the immune system, is connected to the endocrine system, is connected to the nervous system, is connected to the neurological system. So it's all connected. And eventually, if you don't take care of your health, all of these body systems are going to become affected.
Yep.
So then it's my job to figure out where it started. It's usually the digestive system, but it could be the endocrine system. It could be just my job to figure that out. And then we heal that first. We heal the source first, and then it trickles and starts to heal other things, right? And then I figure out, well, do we also need to heal the endocrine system directly? Do we also need to heal the neurological system directly? So that's my job to figure that out. And so that's how disease starts.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think of, or do you have belief that our body is this amazing magical laboratory tool that has the ability to rejuvenate itself?
Yes.
Even if it has had all the damage that you can that exists?
Yes.
Does it have the capability and the possibility to become healthy again? What is your take on that?
Always with the right tools. As long as you have the right tools to heal, the body will heal itself. Here's the problem. People say, well, why doesn't just the body just heal itself when you're sick? Well, because you keep feeding it the GMOs. You keep feeding it the environmental toxins. You keep feeding it the EMFs, right? The body's never going to heal with all the stuff coming at it. You're stepping on the brake and the gas at the same time, right? So what the good news is, like addressing Ashley's question, the good news is once you give it these tools to heal, yes, then the body will heal itself again. Once you stop putting all the toxins in, then yes, the body will heal itself again. The body's made to heal itself, but you have to give it a good starting point to heal itself. Once you do that, it will take over. The body will take over from there and heal itself. Yes.
Awesome. So there is hope. There is hope.
There's always hope. What I like to tell people, the only thing that I can't help you heal from is something that you were born with.
Mm-hmm.
If you were born with it, there's really not much that can be done, unfortunately. But if it's something you developed sometime in your life later, then I can help you heal from it.
Awesome. Did you have a question, Priscilla?
Yes. I know Jason spoke for our Wellness Lifestyle Conference in October, and you did your whole talk on diabetes. Could you just touch on that lightly? Because I know you spoke a lot about, the toxicity in the cells, but then also the effects of the gallbladder and liver, and the toxicity that, because those are the organs that are the remover of the toxins. So if they're not functioning in a way, then it has a knock-on effect on all the other organs.
Correct. Yeah, people wonder why they get diabetes when they're toxifying their pancreas, their kidneys, and their liver, right? So yes, exactly. So that's it. And just the process that I just talked about, from toxicity to inflammation to acidity, that is exactly what causes diabetes, right? So, but here's the thing: with diabetes, these cells are toxic inside your pancreas, inside your liver, and inside your kidneys. So those are and your gallbladder. So if you have a gallbladder, right? So your gallbladder, your liver, your pancreas, and your kidneys are the organs that are affected with diabetes. That's where you have the cellular toxicity building up the most. That's what causes the diabetes. You're clogging these organs, right? You're clogging the gallbladder, can't produce bile, you can't digest the food, right? Metabolize the food. You're clogging the pancreas, therefore the pancreas can't make as much insulin, right? So it starts with the pancreas still making enough insulin, but the insulin is not getting to the cells because the cells are toxic, right? So the cells are rejecting the insulin because they're toxic. That's what we call insulin resistance. That's the first step to getting diabetes, is insulin resistance. And it's because the pancreas is making, first it's making enough insulin, but the cells are rejecting it. So insulin resistance. So the insulin's not doing you any good, okay? Then what does the pancreas do? It tries to keep making more insulin to make up for it. Wait a second, the cells aren't absorbing it. I need to make more, I need to make more, I need to make more. Then you start wearing out your pancreas. You're wearing out your pancreas, and the pancreas is toxic, right? So then it wears out and it can't produce as much insulin anymore. Then you get into pre-diabetes. Okay, your sugar level goes up and you get into pre-diabetes. So that's the point where the pancreas isn't even producing enough insulin anymore because it can't, because it's worn out and it's toxic. Then shortly after that, if you don't take care of it, it's going to turn into type 2 diabetes. Okay, so when we have insulin resistance, or we have pre-diabetes, or we have diabetes, we have to detoxify the cells, especially in the liver, the kidneys, and the pancreas, right? And then, but before we do that, we have to blast the bile ducts in the gallbladder. So basically, you have clogged bile ducts in the gallbladder, and you're not producing enough bile, or the bile is not getting to the food to metabolize it. So the food is just building up in your system, building up, and creating toxins. And then the body says, well, this is a toxin, I have to fight it. Again, autoimmune, that's where that comes from. So we've got to blast open the bile ducts first from the gallbladder. And if you don't have a gallbladder, we do it in the liver, because the liver produces bile as well. So, and the liver has to make up for what the gallbladder used to do if you no longer have a gallbladder. So
but then what if the liver fails? What if the liver starts to fail? Then what happens with the body?
Then we have to heal the liver first. We have to heal the liver first. And the way we do that is through specific herbal combinations that will get the liver functioning again. So we clean it first, and then we repair. Because the liver can repair itself. The liver can regenerate its own cells and repair itself. So, but we have to clean it first to give it a do-over, so to speak. Then we have to repair it. So we clean it. We clean out the cells in the liver with specific supplements, or herbal supplements that are specifically go to the liver, clean out the liver, and we've got to build up on those very slowly, because otherwise we're going to get the detox effect. Because toxins will get pulled from the organs and they'll go into the blood before they go out of the body. So it's when they go in the blood that we have those toxic effects. So by building up slowly on these supplements, we can pretty much avoid that die-off effect, so to speak, that toxicity effect. So we do that with specific herbal combinations. We clean out the liver. We let the liver start over with that. Once we clean it, it takes about 8 weeks to clean out the liver. Then we build it up, we repair it, and we help it regenerate the cells faster. We do that with things like milk thistle, especially, because milk thistle helps regenerate liver cells faster than it normally would. Okay, so that's how we do it. When the liver starts to fail, we have to clean it out, and then we have to repair it and give it the ability to repair. Because like I said, with liver repairs on its own. It regenerates its own cells all the time. But if it's clogged, it's not going to be able to do that as well. And that's when you start to get the liver failure. So, and whether it shows up as fatty liver disease, whether it shows up as cirrhosis, whether it doesn't really matter. You still have to clean out the liver and then allow it to repair. We have to do it more aggressively with something like cirrhosis as compared to fatty liver, because with cirrhosis, your part of your liver has died. So you have to do it more aggressively. But we basically have the same protocol. We just do it more aggressively depending on how bad your liver is, how failed it is at that point. So so that's how we do it.
So it sounds like, go ahead, Priscilla.
No, that's it. Thank you. Very interesting.
Yeah, you know, and it makes so much sense. You know, it's almost like the doctors have, you know, just handed everything over to what they're taught in, you know, college, you know, at the university, at their medical centers, and are not actually using, you know, their own knowledge, information. It's like they've deferred to, well, this is the study, this is what was said, this is what we're taught, this is what we do. But Jason, can I share some of the testimonials that people have had that they'll be able to find on your website?
Sure.
Okay, so
they're all alive, but go ahead. No,
they're all still alive.
No, they're all well. That too, I hope.
Just kidding.
I hope they're all still alive. No, I said they're all lies, but then I said I'm just kidding.
Oh, lies! I thought you said they're all still alive.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't follow up. I don't keep up track with all of them, but hopefully.
So a gentleman named Josh was having a difficult time with his family. They were doing a lot of bickering and complaining with him, and you put him through a few sessions of hypnotherapy, and he's living the life, and you want you to know that you can have anything that you want also. So Jason thanks you. We thank you. So that's the hypnotherapy part that you do. Also, there's a gentleman who was smoking a pack a day for 10 years of cigarettes. And after 6 sessions with hypnosis, he was done, and he hasn't picked up a cigarette pack since. And that was 5 months ago on this, but I'm sure it's a lot longer.
Yeah.
And that's also hypnosis.
Absolutely. Hypnosis is the best thing I've found to help people with stopping smoking. Yeah. Permanent.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So pain, physical and emotional, getting sick all the time. Doctor said that this person, Wendy, was close to getting lupus, which was an autoimmune, and she hated taking medications, and you showed her a healing technique that she started doing every day, and within a week was feeling so much better. And after a couple months, she was completely back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something where I don't know why I kind of don't do this anymore, but I got to kind of go back to this, showing people. It's called the healing codes. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it. It's literally using your own healing energy to heal your body. And most of that stuff I don't believe in. To tell you the truth, most of that stuff I don't think works. This really works. It's clinically proven to work. So yeah, and another thing I've done recently is I help people with a humming technique. So and it gets to the vagus nerve, which is responsible for the entire nervous system, which in turn is responsible for the whole body. So just by humming a certain way, you stimulate the vagus nerve, and it helps to heal everything. So I've been doing that recently as well. Learned that fairly recently.
There's been a lot of good testimonials about sound and healing with sound, and using the resonance of the voice.
Exactly.
And to actually do use it for forms of healing for people.
Yep.
Yeah, right frequency is all about sound.
Yeah.
Feel different things. So Robert is one of your testimonials as well, and he kept having a virus that was popping up for him, and so he went to you, and with 3 products, he felt like a new person after a month, and he worked with you, and no signs, and he's never felt better. And he had fatigue and tons of stuff. These are like, these are people who have gone to doctors, Jason, and they've, and the doctor's like, oh, well, you need to eat better, you need to get some more sleep, that kind of thing. Just
take an antidepressant.
Right. So Martha says that she was told she had fibromyalgia. And that's an autoimmune disease. And there was nothing that they could do except control the symptoms. So when she saw you figured out that she had an acid problem in her body. And so you told her to alkalize and to get a certain product and she wrote it down, and I'm not sure how to say it, but you can find it in his testimonials. It worked. No longer tired or in pain, and she totally can't believe it.
Yeah, I think that was a really good point. And I want to go back to what you said about virus. Here's a little secret for all you out there. Doctors will tell you you can't get rid of a virus, right? All you can do is make it dormant, but you can't get rid of it. Let me tell you, there is a product that will get rid of a virus. Literally, it'll eat
antibiotic.
An antibiotic, yeah, right. Yeah, but and sometimes it's the doctor's fault, right? And sometimes it's not, just because they haven't been educated on certain areas of nutrition and they don't know this stuff. And some doctors are open to learning, right? They're open to learning the holistic approach. Some doctors are not open to learning about it.
Maria was listening to what you were saying, and she said that she guesses that she needs to heal how she filters the bad things in her life out.
Yes, a lot of times that's true, and that's where hypnosis really helps for something that's happened to you traumatically, and to be able to get over it, in a permanent way, not just mask it, not just push it under the carpet like you were talking about, Susan, but actually retrain the subconscious mind to look at it differently, to look at the event differently. Just an event, rather than an event that created negative emotion, because we create the negative emotions from events. Our brain does that. Our subconscious mind does that, right? An event is just an event. Different people will respond and react differently to different events.
Right.
It's not the problem. It's how we respond, how our subconscious mind. What our subconscious mind tells us about it, and how our subconscious mind responds to it. And that's where hypnosis comes in. 88% of the brain is the subconscious. So we try to heal on our own. It doesn't work because we're only using the conscious mind. We're only using 12% of our brain. So we have to get to the source, which is the subconscious, which hypnosis is a great way to get there.
It's interesting what you were talking about, because that's on the events in my life where they've been traumatic or soul wrenching. In retrospect, just sitting around the Thanksgiving table or Christmas table, with family, it's kind of like, I wouldn't have changed what happened, because it got me out of or shifted where I was, that I wasn't supposed to be or should have moved on. Like, it's not actually the situation, but I would have changed how I reacted to it, how I handled it. And that's the emotional charge for it. Suki in the UK, she's saying that in healing is so important to identify the root cause, the fuel that drives the negative energy for healing to progress.
Yeah.
She's supporting exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. That's
great testimonial. And she gives you hugs. That's the hug.
Okay.
That's not that.
Not the Antichrist? Okay, good.
No. That's not the wrong answer. Those are hugs.
Well, thank you, Suki. Yeah. Wait, isn't the X a kiss and an O's a hug?
Yeah, O's are kisses.
Oh, I thought it was the other way.
Hugs is like when you put your arms around somebody.
Okay, I've never had one, so I'm just kidding.
Jason needs a hug.
Yeah.
Hugging.
Thanks.
Virtual hug.
Yeah. But those are the best kind. It hits you on the higher level. So, but yeah, it's pretty much everybody needs both forms. They need the emotional healing as well as the physical healing. But I can always start with somebody with whatever they need the most first, and then we can kind of go from there. But like you said, Susan, and like I said, I mean, everybody's individual. So I address it from an individual level, and no two people are going to have the same protocol to healing when they come to me. I mean, it's very individualized. It's the same concept, but it's very individualized. Yeah.
So that's a perfect segue into how we're able to support our viewers and your future clients, Jason. So tell us a little bit about, and there's a link in the private chat that I think Ashni can pull and post for you to allow people to have a private session to talk about where they are, where they were. Tell me about that. Tell everybody.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
Happens? How do they do
that? What happens? I don't know what happens. Well, it starts with, it starts
no fun. They're not going to have any fun whatsoever.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Zero.
No, they're not, and they're not going to get any value out of talking to me. No, but so a free 45-minute evaluation over Zoom. Free 45-minute evaluation over Zoom. Basically, I'm going to find out everything that's possible about their health, about what's going on with their health, whether it's mental, whether it's physical, whether it's both. And then I'm going to suggest a specific protocol to help them heal, which of course I charge for. But but it's going to be more of value to them, I believe, than anybody else they can see. Because again, I addressed it at the cause, as we've been talking about. I know exactly what they need to do to heal once I find out the information I need to from them in this free evaluation. So, and then I say, okay, great. Here's what we need to do to heal, and let's do it. Let's get started, right? And then we go from there. And so generally speaking, it's going to vary a little bit, but generally speaking, what I've found is that working with somebody for 3 months, no matter what's going on with them, usually that's that's what I do. I work with somebody for 3 months, and I address everything in that time. It includes 4 personal sessions over Zoom. It includes the ability for them to contact me between the sessions for that entire 3 months, anytime they want. So it's basically unlimited access for 3 months, and we do everything. And I will say that when we'll talk about the cost when we do the evaluation, but I will say it's a lot less than others charge. It's not cheap, but it's a lot less than other charge for similar things that they do, because I've seen what else is out there. I've seen naturopathic doctors get people into a similar type, let's say, program and charge $10,000 or $15,000. I mean, it's ridiculous. I need to make a living, but I don't believe in gouging people. So it's kind of that balance. And again, I use, like a lot of people do, I use intuition to figure out that balance and what I should be charging, and it's not going to gouge people, but that's going to allow me to make a living doing what I do, and allow me to keep doing only this to make a living, because I don't want to be doing other things. I've already committed to never working for anybody else ever again. I'm not good at it. And especially, does anybody out there think, anybody who knows me knows this, I will never go into a job and wear a mask for 8 hours a day. That is no way, will never happen. They can throw me on the street. I don't care. No, I will never do that. But luckily,
Jason's going postal, everybody.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I don't know. Wow. The post office has been so bad, maybe. But yeah. So I'm fortunate enough now to have this be the only thing that I do. So
it's the beauty, Jason. Just to piggyback on what you're saying. The beauty of what you do is that you don't have judgment, and I just really felt like no matter how bad it is, no matter what we have, no matter how old we are, like age, we have a lot of judgments of ourselves, less than, not enough. And, when we eat sweets and we were taught, and, the lips and the hips and all this kind of stuff, and, oh my, and you just come from a nurturing aspect, like, okay, great, and you take notes as they're telling you their story, and you really just dive in and go, okay, this is where it started, this is what this was, this is what came after that, this is why it came after that, and this is where you are, and this is what will we're going to change and shift to create a different possibility for you. And there's no judgment. And everyone just feels so nurtured and so taken care of. And it's not like, okay, here's your prescription slip, go get it filled. You know, you're like, this is what you're going to do, and this is why you're going to do it.
Right. So, yeah, and I was going to say something about that. I forgot, but basically, yeah, I mean, what I was going to say about that is, number one, like you said, I mean, I think I'm pretty empathetic and non-judgmental. But I'm also going to be very direct with people, very honest and very upfront on what they need to do to heal, because that's what they're paying me for, right? And the other thing I was going to say about that is with foods. You'd mentioned a little bit about foods, right? That a lot of people don't know what's actually healthy and what's not. We get all this conflicting information, right? So I can cut through all that, and I can tell you exactly, these are the foods you need to eat. These are the foods that are actually healthy, and I'll tell you why they're healthy. And these are the foods to avoid. And there's a lot of bait and switch in the food industry. There's a lot of tricks that are being used to make you think that something's healthy when it's not. Chances are, if you're not sure, it's probably not healthy. Okay. There's very few foods out there that are actually healthy nowadays. And it's what they put in the meals, what they put in the snack foods. Like I said, it's the GMOs, and a lot of things you need to do organic, beyond GMO, which is organic, or beyond non-GMO, I should say, which is organic. You got to do, and I'll tell you what needs to be organic and what you can get away with just doing non-GMO. So here's a little hint. Here's a little the example of that I give usually in every talk that I do, and that is specifically, if you go to most supermarkets, at least here in the US, you will find that most products put little thing called canola oil in their products, in their snacks, in their meals. They make you think it's healthy, but it's one of the worst things you can eat. And almost every snack food has canola oil in it. Why is it unhealthy? Because it will deform your cells over time. It'll actually deform your cells. Your cells are supposed to be round. It will make your cell look like this. And you can imagine what types of diseases that can bring in. Okay, specifically cancer, but other diseases too. And the way I tell these people this, the way I explain it is, canola oil comes from a little seed called a rapeseed, R-A-P-S-E-E-D. And I ask people, do you see rapeseeds being sold in supermarkets? Can you buy rapeseeds? You ever seen them? No, right? There's a reason.
Canola came from corn for some reason.
No, canola, there's corn oil, which comes from corn, but canola oil comes from the rapeseed. And that tells you rapeseeds are not consumable by humans. So why do you think the oil is consumable by humans? Same thing with cottonseed oil. Can you buy cotton seeds? No, right? So avoid canola oil, avoid cottonseed oil, okay? And most things have one of those too. They also have, which you have to be careful, if they have soybean oil, if they have corn oil, if they have peanut oil, it has to say non-GMO, non-GMO. Otherwise, you're destroying your cells. So that's a little tip I like to give people, generally speaking, about food, just because so many things have canola oil in them. And I noticed Maria said that link isn't valid. What I'll do is I'll put my email also in case the Calendly link isn't working. I've had so many issues with Calendly, it's not even funny.
Oh, we lost Jason.
He must have clicked something.
It went whoosh. I heard that.
It was like, eh. Here he comes. He's in the green room. We will bring him back for all of you.
I don't know how that happened. All I did was click from the comments to the private chat thing, and that's happened. Okay, so I'm going to put my email in here since I can't comment, and you can just email me and that you want to do.
Okay, you're putting it in the private chat, so Janie or Ashley will grab it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Already. Okay.
So yeah, just email me to set up a session. A
say,
free
hey,
email.
we saw him here. Your high vibe tribe.
Yes, make sure you say where you saw me, right? So yeah, that's a tip I like to give people.
Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, no matter what, the way I differ, I think, from most others out there is I can help you heal no matter what you have going on because I know the cause. And number two, I'll do a very comprehensive approach with you. It'll be very individualized. And so, you know, I think that I think the approach that I use is pretty good. And you know, I've definitely helped a lot of people heal from pretty much anything you can name. Because again, once you know the cause, that's the key. That's the key.
Well,
and most people don't know.
Yeah, you're the top testimonial. I mean, healing yourself from John Hodgkin's disease, right?
Well, Hodgkin's, yeah, I did the, like I said, I did the traditional treatment because I didn't know enough back then, but I healed myself naturally from the after effects of the treatment. The destroying of the DNA of my cells that it did, the toxicity of the cells that it created. I definitely healed myself naturally from that. And so yeah, it's just
never come back.
What's that?
It's never come back. Like
you're no, definitely.
Plus year remission.
Yeah, the Hodgkin's will never come back. I mean, it's I stopped the treatment in 2001. I went to the treatment in 2001 for Hodgkin's, like I said. And no, it hasn't come back, and it won't, because I make sure that my inflammation stays down. I make sure that cellular toxicity stays down, and I make sure that my pH is always balanced. And so I eat in such a way that happens. I take certain supplements to make sure that stays like that. So it is, I don't want to say impossible. It is 99.99% impossible that I could ever get cancer again, based on the supplements I take, based on the way that I eat, and based on the way that I monitor my my pH in my body. So about once a month or so, I'll do a pH strip, you know, which is the saliva and the urine, and I'll make sure that it's where it's supposed to be, and it's always been where it's supposed to be ever since I've, you know, known what supplements to take and how to eat.
Started on this journey. Yeah.
I don't want people to think I don't cheat. I mean, I don't want people to think I don't have fun when I go out, right? I still eat, you know, foods that aren't the healthiest when I go out, because number one, I'm not going to pay. Yeah, I'm not going to pay money for a plate of broccoli in a restaurant. That's no fun. And number two, I know that I can afford to do that when I go out, because of how healthy I eat when I'm home. So it's fine. Don't think that you have to eat this way all the time and not have fun. You can go out and you can eat pretty much whatever you want if you eat healthy at home vast majority of the time. So, you know, so I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go out and buy a vegetable plate or a salad or I'm going to do that. No fun in that.
4 pieces of asparagus grilled and you pay $16. Yeah.
Right. Not going to do that. Not going to do that.
A plate of vegetables or a plate of salad and hold the fun.
Yeah. But so, you know, you can eat like crap every once in a while if you want. If you need healthy most of the time, you can get away with it.
He gave us permission.
Yeah, Susan's given permission to have her donuts.
Donut. Friday is pizza day, so
make sure it's a gluten-free donut if you're sensitive to gluten. But yes.
Yes. I'll definitely defer of that. Yes, I will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Jason, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing all of your information, knowledge, and wisdom. Thank you for providing people. I mean, he gave you his email address. Like, we have never had a guest who said, "Oh, forget the whole booking thing. Just email me." Wow. And just put your High Vibe Tribe, in the thing.
We won't tell you it's because the Calendly link isn't even working, but I'll just pretend like I was going to give you all my email anyway. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Phone number's a little weird because obviously I would get a million calls. Not that I always get enough calls as it is. So, but email me, and I will with
get
your
link. Yeah, you'll get them.
Yeah, email me with your I'll have your email when you email me, but email me with your phone number, and and I'll call you, and we will figure out a time to book. So yeah, just email me with your phone number. I'll call you. We'll figure out a time to book for the free 45-minute evaluation.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you very much.
So enjoyed. Yeah, having you here. And I can think of people right now, throughout this conversation, throughout this interview, Jason, who I'm like, oh, I got to tell them about Jason. I've got to drop Jason. I got to drop him in their reality. So all these people were popping up while you were talking today. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. There are some people in our audience that have maybe some specific questions that, we don't have time to go into right now. So Jason, if you'll pop into the comments, definitely you can respond to them directly and then connect up, with them. So last minute thoughts from our team this week.
Be happy,
Priscilla.
be healthy, enjoy life.
Ashti, coming up on her birthday. Be happy, healthy, and enjoy life. Love it.
Yeah. Do I have time to go over? I'm seeing one question here.
Great information and energy from Suki.
Let's see. I see one question about psoriasis.
Do you want to do that privately?
Yeah, I can do that. I can just tell you that's a liver issue. Basically, psoriasis comes from the liver. It's a liver issue. The liver issues show up in the skin. It's that simple. Liver issues show up in the skin. So it's a liver issue. We have to clean the liver.
There's a lot of cleaning going on. It sounds like there's a whole lot of cleaning.
Whole lot of cleaning going on.
I know, right? We have a
Scrubby
for you.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, when you were first talking about the liver stuff, I had this full-on visual, literal visual of scrubbing the liver and then putting it back in. I'm I wonder what codes are working right now.
Well, I'm not a surgeon, but yeah, I can see that.
Maria says she started to feel guilty from having so much fun.
It's better than not having fun, so.
Oh,
Priscilla, last minute thoughts for today.
Be healthy, be happy, and sunshine and salutes from South Africa.
Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo-hoo. Do you have a wellness conference this month, November?
Yes, we do. It's coming up next Saturday. So the 14th of November, the Wellness Lifestyle Conference. And we have 20 brand new speakers. We're now sitting on 12 countries. So we are so excited about the fact that this conference is just growing exponentially every month. So we're sitting on 12 countries that are represented. And we've got an amazing, and Jason was one of our speakers for October. So that's how I know Jason too, and his wonderful talk he did about diabetes. So if you want to catch that talk, it is available on the site to watch.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And Priscilla, definitely put the link to that, because I know as more people watch this, they're going to want to know how to find it. So put that in the comments for everyone also. Congratulations, Jason, on that talk that you did with everybody. So I am Susan Shatzer, the founder and host of your High Vibe Tribe, Consciousness Revolutionary, here to shake and bake. No, shift and uplift. That's what I'm here to do. Your infinite possibilities to create a different reality for you. So until we see you next week, my friends, ciao for now. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.